Shalom. In the name of F-YHWH, honor and praises to Yahweh, the God of Israel, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And saying that, let's get straight into it. We're going to go to the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Okay, because you have to understand that these politicians, the government, the global elite, and these other nations know that we so-called African Americans, minorities, we are the children of Israel. Okay, our history is in this book. All right, we are Yahweh's chosen people. Okay, and this is what y'all need to understand. So basically, we're finna go over a few things. All right, so that y'all can get a better understanding of who you are. Okay, and saying that, we're in the book of Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28th chapter. We're going to start at verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God Yahweh, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I commanded thee this day, that the Lord thy Yahweh will set thee on high above all nations of the earth, meaning that basically keeping the commandments will be put above all nations. Okay, see, so when it comes to equal justice, there ain't no equality. There ain't no equal justice here in America, right? Because see, out of all nations on this planet, Israel is the apple of God's eye. Okay, Israel is his firstborn. Okay, Israel is the only one that he knows. Okay, out of all families of the earth. All right, and the nation of Israel is connected through the celestial beings. Okay, understand that Israel have a everlasting perpetual covenant that will never end. All right, so let's get back. Deuteronomy chapter 28. Let's read that again, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God Yahweh, to observe and to do all his commandments which I have commanded thee this day, that the Lord thy Yahweh will set thee high above all nations of the earth. Okay, now let's go down to verse 9. The Lord shall establish thee as a holy people unto himself. What? The Lord shall establish. What? He shall establish thee a holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God Yahweh, and walk in his ways. And all the people of the earth. What? And all the people, when it says all the people, we're talking about all the families, all the nationalities, all the nations that's here on this earth today. And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord Yahweh, and that they shall be afraid, meaning that if we keep the commandments, we'll be above all nations. Okay, they will fear us. Okay, we'll be ruling everything. We'll be in control of everything. Okay, let's go up to verse 7. The Lord shall cause thy enemies that raise up against thee to be smitten before thy face, meaning that he was going to put it in them nations to rise up against the children of Israel, but we're going to slaughter them. Okay, we're going to be able to kill them off. All right. Okay, and in fact, listen to what Christ said when they was in the Garden of Gethsemane, and one of the disciples chopped the ear off of the of one of the Roman soldiers. So let's go into the book of Luke. Listen to what F-YHWH say. We're going to get Luke, 21st chapter. Luke, chapter 22. We're going to start at verse 49. When they which were about him saw what would follow, they said unto him, Lord, shall we smite with the sword? Meaning that they seen the Roman soldiers coming, so they already knew what time it was, right? Now, when you go into the Matthew, I think in Matthew, when you say, put up this sword, because I can pray and I had 12,000. I had 12 legions of angels right here. But then how would scriptures be fulfilled? Okay, see, so scriptures had to be fulfilled. But know that in that Garden of Gethsemane, that the world would have ended. Okay, understand that. Okay, and let's finish up. Luke chapter 22, verse 49. Let's read that again. When they which were about him saw what will follow, they said unto him, Lord, shall we smite with the sword? Now, smite basically means to kill, to injure. Okay, that's what it means. Verse 51, verse 50. And one of them, which is disciples, smote the servant of the high priest and cut off his right ear. Let's read that again. And one of them smote the servants of the high priest and cut off his right ear. And ISRAELITE answered and said, suffer ye this far. What? Suffer ye this far? Because that's what's going to happen when that time comes. That's what's going to happen in the kingdom, because the kingdom of Yahweh is reverse slavery. Okay, he already told. Let's go back up to Deuteronomy 28, and we're gonna go up to verse 7. The Lord shall cause thy enemies that raise up against thee to be smitten before thy face, meaning we're gonna put them down. As soon as they rise up and against the commandments, we're gonna kill them. Okay, because understand the kingdom of Yahweh is reverse slavery. All right, that's why the global elite already know. Why you think they pushing this agenda? Okay, because they already know what the play is and how it's about to go down. Okay, the only thing difference is that you all don't know and you all are kept out of the loop. Because see, through the media, y'all got in y'all hair fixed that the Republicans is racist, Donald Trump is racist, and that's the only thing that you all know. All right. It is what it is, okay? Let's finish up. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 7. Let's read that again. The Lord shall cause thy enemies that raise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. Meaning that they're going to come up and rise up and protest, right? Or try to come against the children of Israel. But when we come down and pull them swords out and get the killing, they're going to be running in every direction. You know, they're going to be I had nothing to do with that. Oh, nah, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. They're going to be fleeing in several different directions. Okay? It is what it is. All right? Let's go down to verse 8. The Lord shall command the blessings upon thy storehouses. Now, when it says storehouses, that's symbolism, right? Basically, today we don't have storehouses. Today we have what? Bank accounts, money saved up, your savings accounts, okay? Let's read that again. The Lord shall command the blessings upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou settest thy hand unto, and he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy Yahweh giveth thee. Meaning that he talking about capitalism. Because see, capitalism is an operation, production, and means for profit, right? So basically, everything that you do, keeping the commandments, you prosper. Wealth, money, power. Okay? It is what it is. Okay? Let's read that again, because see, that's capitalism. Because see, y'all have to understand, America is a capitalist country. The bureaucrats, which are called Democrats, the global elite, the Marxist people, they hate capitalism. They don't, let me rephrase that. They practice capitalism like Patrice from Black Lives Matter, right? She's a capitalist, but she promotes socialism. She promotes you giving everything that you have, your business and your money, to the government, right? Now, all that money that Black Lives Matter raised and brought $2-3 million homes in an all-white neighborhood, okay? See, so this is the things that y'all need to know and understand, okay? It is what it is, okay? And basically, you're going to be blessed in everything that you do, everything you put your hand to, once you keep these statutes, commandments, okay, and the ordinance, all right? It is what it is. Let's go down to verse 15. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God Yahweh, and to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And today time we are under these curses. The difference is that you all are not able to see that. Okay, that these curses of Yahweh is being played out politically through these politicians' agenda. Okay, philosophically, y'all not able to see that. Okay, so that's why you think that you're not in a spiritual walk. Okay, because philosophically y'all don't understand. Okay, it is what it is, that we are under these curses, right? And when you and another proof that we under these curses is that just look at the policies, right? I was reading I wasn't reading, I was watching a video, and it was this Jewish dude, right? But he made a lot of sense. Okay, he made a lot of sense. See, you have policies that's in place, you have regulations that's in place. Okay, and those regulations in place, you can see it, and you can see it being implemented in the black community. Okay, you can see it being implemented. All right, it is what it is. Okay, let's read that again. Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God Yahweh, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I have commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And you can see that happening to this day. Okay, let me get the let me go into the book of Amos. The book of Amos, the 3rd chapter, verse 1. Hear this, the word of the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel. What? See, so Yahweh is against the children of Israel. Against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, only you have I known of all families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for your iniquities. What? Therefore I will punish you for your iniquities. And we being punished for our iniquities and our forefathers' iniquities. Okay? Understand that. Why? Because see, out of all the families of the earth, Yahweh is married and established a covenant with the nation of Israel. Okay? That's it. Okay, nothing more, nothing less. All right? Let's go back. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 25. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten. What? The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten. And what the smitten means, basically again, to kill, to injure. Okay? It is what it is. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies. Thou shalt go one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shalt be removed into all kingdoms of the earth. Meaning that we was dispersed. Okay, these nations is against us. Okay, you can see in the CCP movements are being implemented here in America. Black Lives Matter, Antifa. Okay, all that ain't but nothing but CCP movement, that Me Too movement, that women rights. Okay, it is what it is. See, understand what you up against. Understand what y'all protesting and what y'all supporting, because y'all don't have no understanding that we are the children of Israel, and they know that. Okay, let's read that again. Let's go verse 25. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them. And thou shalt be removed into all kingdoms of the earth. And we was moved into all kingdoms of the earth. Okay, listen to what let's go into the book of Zechariah. Let's get Zechariah, the 7th chapter, verse 14. But I scattered them with a whirlwind among all the nations whom they know not. Let's read that again. But I will scatter them with a whirlwind among all the nations whom they know not. And he's talking about that whirlwind. Basically, he's talking about that whirlwind when you come here with America. Because see, this is my map, because I don't have a map. This is Africa, this is Europe, right? America and South America. So when he's talking about that whirlwind, he's talking about in the Atlantic, okay, on the side of Africa, and then between South America and Africa. See, so basically you had that whirlwind where the slave ships went into South America. Slave ships went all into the Caribbean islands up to Mexico. Then you had another slave ship, another whirlwind that went all the way up into Florida, New York, and Maine and so forth. Okay, all up along these coasts. You understand? See, so this the transatlantic slave trade took place during the 1400s. That's why Obama, I mean not Obama, but Biden, he wanted to keep y'all into the 1500s. Okay? Because they know and they understand that so-called African Americans here in America, the minorities, we are the children of Israel, and we are in captivity, and they have the power over us through the scriptures. Yahweh said so. Okay, it's prophesied that. All right, understand? Okay, it is what it is. All right, let's go back. Deuteronomy. Okay, it is what it is. Okay, let's go back. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 25. And shall be removed into all kingdoms of the earth. And we was moved in all to kingdoms of the earth. Listen to what YHWH say. Listen to what YHWH say. Let's get to the book of Luke, the 21st chapter. Let's start at Luke. Yeah, Luke the 21st chapter. Luke chapter 21, verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword. What? They shall fall by the edge of the sword. And that sword is symbolic. And that sword basically means his word, his prophecy, those curses. Okay? And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Meaning that the land of Israel right now, or the land of Canaan, was trodden down. Okay, Cyrus destroyed Babylonia, right? I think what, 530 BC, right? And then you had that dispersed. Yet the Romans invaded Israel, okay, the land of Canaan. And then you had all these monotheistic religion popping up. You had all these political movement and philosophy starting to come into shape, okay? Because before monotheism, you had polytheism religion. I mean, not religion, but you had polytheism worshiping. Okay, so now everything's starting to come into one worshiping. Okay, so you had a lot of political events that take place, not only in the Middle East, but in Europe and other places of this globe. Okay, understand that. Okay, and we was led into all nations. I mean, okay, we was led captive. As a matter of fact, let's go back into Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. What? And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Now, when it says into Egypt, he's talking about that physical location, right? Now, when he says again, meaning that the Israelites was already left Egypt. So when he said, when he go back again, he's not talking about the geographical location of Egypt. Okay, like the modern day Babylon, right? The original geographical location of Babylon is what? Iran. What we know is what? Iran. Now, when the Bible speaks about modern day Babylon, it's not talking about that geographical location. Okay, and the same thing with this prophecy, because this is a future prophecy. Okay, because see, before the Suez Canal, you had Christ and a lot of other people walk out of Egypt and walk into Egypt. When Christ fled from Herod, when Mary was pregnant with ISRAELITE, she ran into Egypt, right? They went into Egypt. They didn't catch no boat. They walked into Egypt. And they walked up out of Egypt, right? Because when you go into this map, let me see, let's see, because see, y'all need to get a real better understanding. Let me see if I can get a better map for you all. Because see, basically, along the coast, they had walked. See, that was the international coastal highways that led into Egypt. Okay, see, so you had roadways, you had walked in and out of Egypt. All right, so when it says by the way of ships, that's the future prophecy. You understand? That's the future prophecy. It's not talking about that geographical location of Egypt, because see, Egypt means bondage, right? And that's what it means, bondage. Okay, it is what it is. Let's read that again. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spoke unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And when he's talking about see no more, he's talking about the land of Israel, right? Okay, now today, in our modern day time, you have money, you can catch a plane, you can go to the land of Israel. You can go and see it and visit it, right? But what the scripture is talking about is making a living there, making a home there. That is not our home, because it's trodden down with the Gentiles. Okay, it's filled with abominations. Then you got Benjamin Netanyahu, them Kaiser, them fake devils, them what satanic kingdoms, what the Bible call them, synagogues of Satan. Okay, understand that land of Canaan right now is trodden down. Okay, it is what it is. All right. And matter of fact, let's get we're gonna hold that, and let's get I'm going to Isaiah. I'm going to Isaiah, the 22nd chapter, verse 17. Behold, the Lord will carry thee away with a mighty captivity. What? With a mighty captivity, and will surely cover thee. He will surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country. And there shalt thou die. There shalt thou die, and there the chariots of thy glory shall be ashamed of the Lord's house. Meaning that in America, when you let's go back, bring this out. Okay, when the slave trade took place in the 1400s, when we went into slavery, all right, from Africa, from the east coast of Africa, right now, this place right here with my hand at is Ghana. It's right, like, basically this was the in some maps it's called Negro land, some maps it's called King of Judah. Okay, and that's where the King of Judah was set. That's where we had got trapped off at. Okay, you had other slaves going out, not only from here at this point, but you had some coming out of Uganda, okay, and so forth along the eastern coast of Africa. All right, understand? This is what it is. So when we were violently turned and tossed into a large country, which is America, okay, because see, when you go back to the Middle East, we already been in the Middle East. We already been in the land of Canaan, okay? We already been in Africa, okay? So it's not talking about that. That large country he's talking about is what we know as America, okay? What it is. All right, now we gonna get that again, okay? Isaiah chapter 22, verse 18. And he will surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country. And in America, we was tossed like a ball. And to this day, we is tossed like a ball. Okay, because see, you had the slave trade, right? Then you had the Emancipation Proclamation, which sent black people from the south to the north. And the people from the north went down to the south. Okay? Understand that. In the south, we was beaten, whipped and hanged. Okay, and then up north, they was restricted. Okay, see, the whole purpose of the Emancipation Proclamation was to keep the unions together. Okay, and during this time, you had the this point in history, you had what? The Industrial American Revolution, when you had these factories that was being built up north. Okay, see, so through the emancipation, we went from one white man hand to the next white man hands. Because see, you have to understand, we have a nation that's over us through the disobedience. Okay, and we about to get into that. Okay, and we was violently turned and charged, beaten, whipped, hanged. What's that movie, Rosewood? When the girl lied and said that the black man raped it, and then they slaughtered a lot of people in Florida. Rosewood, I think what, Mississippi Burning, Roots. Okay, understand that when these pictures and they show y'all that, they telling you all, this is what history. Okay, understand that. And we was violently turned and charged. Why? Because after the Emancipation Proclamation, then you had the what? Then you had the Civil Rights Movement, because the Democrat or the bureaucrats, the KKK, put up the Jim Crow law and took down the first Civil Rights Bill of 1870. That was put up by black people, by black Congress, because if you know your history and you study your history, you'll know that black people in America, so-called African Americans, we are Republicans. The Republican Party base is black. White people have been socializing with black people for the longest. The only difference is that if you're not educated, you don't know and you lost. And therefore, you always going to be divided, and you always going to have racism in your head because you lack understanding. You lack that knowledge. Okay? It is what it is. And we were tossed into a large country. Okay? Let's go back to Deuteronomy. Chapter 28, verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God Yahweh with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for abundance of all things, therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And a lot of Israelites get that confused, saying that, oh, the nation of Israel was in the want of all things. No, he wasn't. What he's talking about is those nations, right? Those nations from afar. So basically, those nations from afar, that's north of Europe. Okay, that's north and west of Europe. All right, because see, we already knew this area, this region. Okay, we've been in this region for years, for decades. Okay, it is what it is. All right, let's read that again. Verse 48. Therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And that was the Vikings. Those was them Finland people, Denmark people, Norwegian, okay, Finland, Ireland. These the people that they talking about from afar. Okay? Because Europe is real close to the land of Canaan. It's real close to the continent of Africa. Okay, so we're talking about Ireland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Denmark. Them Vikings, they were ruthless, bloody people, okay? They didn't give a, the Vikings ain't give a fuck about nobody. Yo, they were ruthless when you go into the history, okay? It is what it is, okay? And finish up. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until thou beest destroyed. Okay, and we was in chains. We was caught in chains from the coast of Africa all the way to America. We stayed chained up. Okay, when you go from the slave trade, right, from the 1400s all the way to the late the mid 1800s, that's when slavery was abolished. Okay, finally was abolished in 1865, right? But before 1865 and in the mid 1800s, okay, you had a trail of bones that led from Africa all the way to America. You had a trail of bones to Mexico from the islands. You had a trail of bones from Africa to South America. Okay, because what they did was chain themselves, and one was sick, they'll all fall in that water together. because they was all chained up together. So if one fall, all of them fall. It committed suicide. It was deaths. Okay, it was a mighty captivity that we went through, and no nation on this planet been through that mighty captivity that we've been through. Okay, where you got one person right here, then you got in the next few feet, you got the next person chained up. Now you pissing and shitting on the boat, on top of each other, smelling each other's shit, pissing all on each other, disease infested. They used to put plugs in their ass and open their mouth and put pork and shit all down in their mouth. Okay, if you go back into history, these Democrats, these KKK, these some devils. Okay, but Yahweh gave them power, and their power is through legislation that you all support. Okay, it is what it is. Verse 49, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from one end of the earth as swift as an eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. And the nations that they talking about are these nations that's from afar. These are the nations that's from afar. Finland, Norway, Denmark, Finland, Sweden, Ireland. Okay, those are the nations from afar. All right, understand that. And when they came in during this time. You had the Greek was fading away, and you had Latin. And then I think in the Latin period, you had multiple languages came out, like English, Spanish, and so forth, right? So basically, when they say the so-called African Americans that was over here, the white man stopped us from reading and writing, and that's a lie, and that's not true, because see, the so-called African Americans, the Hebrew Israelite, us African Americans, our natural language is Paleo Hebrew and Syrian Hebrew, right? Now during the disperse, we ran into Africa, we ran into other parts of the four corners of the earth, right? And Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, when they went into Africa, they adopted these African language and culture. Okay, see, so when we was brought over here, we already knew how to read. See, it was just that English was becoming the dominant language now. Okay, now to keep us from reading English, because if we learn how to read English, we'll eventually and quickly wake up and understand that we are the children of Israel. Okay, and that we are the chosen, Yahweh chosen people, and we here in America. Okay, so to keep you from waking up, what they did is stop black people from reading. See, so y'all need to learn y'all history. Okay, ain't that the white man they wanted black people not to read, because we already knew how to read, because in the dark ages you had black people that ruled. Okay, it is what it is. See, y'all gotta learn y'all history. Y'all can't be watching CNN, MSNBC, and CBS and think that, man, because them are fucking devils. Okay, it is what it is. Let's finish up. Verse 50, a nation of fierce continuance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young, right? And they don't give a fuck. They don't care. They're gonna work your ass to death. All right. Let's go back to let's go up to verse 41. Thou shalt begot sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. And they went into captivity. They didn't care about whether that baby was young. As soon as that baby came out, you was over in Cavalcandy land. Okay, soon as she had them 2-3 kids, they was already sold to another plantation. Okay, understand that. All right, Israel stay in captivity, and we gonna be in captivity until his return. Okay, it is what it is. Okay, let's go and finish up. Verse 51. And he shall eat thy fruit of thy cattle, and the fruit of thy land, until thou be destroyed. And when it says destroyed, that means put an end to. Okay, they put an end to all that. Put an end to all that things that you want to do. All your freedom get put an end to through the policies and regulations that you all support. Hey, that's it. You support shit that you don't even know. Hey, it is what it is, right? Let's read that again. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle, and the fruit of thy land, till thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave neither corn, wine, or oil, or increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. Now that's symbolic. Okay, your wine is for liquid, like your juice, Kool-Aid, water. Okay, your corn is food. Okay, and so forth. And basically, what he talking about is a system that's in place. Any policies and regulations that's in place that's going to take everything you got. Right now, you have that socialism to extol and communal ownership. That was socialism is, to take all your shit and give it to the government. All right. Understand that they got policies and regulations in place. Okay, but y'all have to be able to wake up and understand. All right, it is what it is. Okay, and anything that you try to increase small businesses or whatever, they're gonna take it, because they use that COVID-19 to kill and to take away all small businesses throughout America. Okay, so you'll never open back up, because by the time you open up, you have policies and regulations in place. Okay, they're gonna take all your shit. All right, and that's what socialism is. Okay, verse 52. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy high and fenced wall come down, wherein thou trusted throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy Yahweh hath given thee. Meaning that he gonna hold y'all hostage through philosophy and religion. Okay, he hold y'all captive to philosophy and religion. Okay. It is what it is, all right. And that's that philosophy that they got y'all sieged up, and y'all walls came down. That wall is y'all faith, okay. That came down. Now you open to where you believe anything that they tell you. Okay, it is what it is. Matter of fact, let me get let's go to 2 Thessalonians. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11. And for this cause, Yahweh shall send them strong delusions, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. Meaning that he sent y'all that delusion. That delusion is democracy. Because see, democracy is a philosophical view. Okay, so through democracy, y'all think that means freedom, but that don't mean freedom. That means the majority rule, because y'all don't understand the language and the terminology that these politicians be using. Y'all don't understand the symbolism that the Bible describes, because y'all not taught. All right, it is what it is. Okay, and it's talking about that philosophy that's going to hold y'all. All right, let's get Let's get Luke, the 4th chapter. Luke, chapter 4, verse 18. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. Now this is what Yahweh Shai say. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives. And they holding captives through that ideology and philosophical religious views of the world. Okay, that's what he's talking about. And recovering the sight to the blind, meaning that those that's not able to see might be able to see what's going on, might be able to understand that we are the children of Israel. Okay, and that a second Exodus is about to take place, and Yahweh Shai is coming back. Okay, we are the children of Israel. And recovering the sight to the blind, and to set at liberty them that are bruised. And liberty means freedom, because through the commandments you are free. Okay, y'all don't understand that you are free. Although it's an institutional, capitalism is an institution of slavery, but it's a divine slavery. Okay, where you obey and you keep Yahweh commandments, and all things going to be added unto you. That's what he tell you. That's what Christ even said himself. Okay, it is what. All right, it is. It is what it is. And that nation that we are under, that's over us right now, it's the Edomites, because it's about Yah's covenant. Okay, let's go to Genesis, the 27th chapter. Let me get Genesis, the 27th chapter. Let's go down to verse 39. Let's start at verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept, because Jacob took the covenant from Esau, right? Because Esau rejected his heritage for a bowl of soup. Okay, so Yahweh hated Esau. All right, and this is what this thing is about. Yahweh's covenant, Esau and Jacob. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning that followed. Okay, let's read that again. Verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of the heaven from above. By the sword thou shalt live. And that sword, meaning to modern day time, is that gun. It's them IBM missiles that they building, them nuclear weapons. Okay. And by the sword thou shalt live. And the Esau, the Edomites, the children of the dragon, the Moabites, the Chinese, all of them, they live by the sword, because they all together. They live by the sword. When George Washington and all them came over here, they came over here with these guns. They came over here and pulled them guns out and hijacked the whole country through policies, regulations, and military force. Okay, it is what it is. But first they did was got the women and had sex with them and produced their babies, right? So when them babies came out light skinned, that's how white people to this day call themselves Indians, call themselves American Native Indians. Because why? The white man came and slept with them and they had their babies, but in return they supposed to get sovereignty, right? But they never got anything. That's why you have a lot of white people that's saying that they are Indians, okay? Because they bleeded out the black Indians that was this color, okay? Understand? All right. Let's finish up. Yeah. Okay. Verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven. And by the sword thou shalt live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. And they did serve us, because in the dark ages we ruled. Okay, they took over and they came into power in the 1400s, due to the fact that you had that black plague of the 1300s, which was rumored that came from China, like this COVID-19. Okay, it is what it is. Y'all better understand. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, and thou shalt break his yoke from his off. And wait, let's read that again. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And he broke his thing from off the neck, right? Because now they came back into power. Let's get 2 Chronicles. Let's get 2 Chronicles chapter 28. Verse 17. For again the Edomites had come and smitten Judah and carried away captives. Okay, and let's get 21, and let's go to 21. 2 Chronicles 21 verse 10. So the Edomites revolted from under the hand of Judah until this day. Okay, so now they in charge, they in power. Esau, Edomites, Illuminati. They're the ones running this world. They're the ones controlling America. Okay? All right? It is what it is. All right? Understand that. Let's go back to Deuteronomy. Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, which means a shock and amazement. Okay? A proverb and a byword amongst all the nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. And that bywords and bywords and proverbs are what? A substitution, are words that substitute for our nationality of who we are. Like African American, nigger, negro, monkey, ace, black man. All these are substitutions for our nationality of who we are. Because see, the whole point of slavery is to wipe out your mental nationality of who you are. That's how you be destroyed. That's what he's talking about. Okay? And we were stripped from our heritage. That's why we don't understand, and that's why you all don't know that you are the children of Israel, because philosophically they tell you that Israel don't exist. Okay, but yet it's all through prophecy, all through prophecy of Yahweh. Okay, because we were stripped of our heritage. That's why we don't know who we are. Let's get Jeremiah. Let's go into the book of Jeremiah, the 17th chapter. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thou, shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee. I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire, in my anger, which shall burn forever. Why? Because he gave Israel statutes and commandments. He led them out of the desert, led them out of Egypt, gave statutes and commandments, and what Israel did, went hoeing after other gods and followed other nations. To this day, we in slavery. Okay, understand that. Okay, let's get Jeremiah, the 12th chapter. Let's get Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 7. I have forsaken my house. I have left my heritage. I have given the dearly beloved of my soul into the hands of her enemies. And her enemies are those nations that surrounding about us. Okay, that surrounded us. Okay, understand that you have nations that's against us. Okay, and then you have nations that are with us too also. Okay, and it's what y'all have to understand. Okay, let's get Deuteronomy. Let's go into Deuteronomy, the 9th chapter. Let's start at verse 14. Let me alone, that I may destroy them, and blot out their name from under the heaven. What? Blot out their name from under the heaven, and I will make thee a nation mightier and greater than thee. Greater than thee. And when he's talking about mightier and greater, is he talking about the elect of Israel? Because Israel never kept the commandments. Okay? And he's talking about the elect. Alright? That's why it's about the elect. Let's get Romans, the 9th chapter. And let's go to let's start at verse 9. For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose according to election might stand. What purpose according to election might stand? Not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. And it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Okay, and that is written. So Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning that followed. Because this is about the election. Okay, this is about the elect. Let's go to 31. Let's go down to verse 30. What shall we say then? That the Gentiles which follow not after righteousness have obtained righteousness, even the righteousness which is of faith. But Israel which follow after the law of righteousness have not obtained it to the law of righteousness. Wherefore, because they sought it not by faith, but as it were by the works of the law, for they stumbled at the stumbling stone. And it is written, behold, I lay in Zion a stumbling stone and a rock of offense. Okay, and he's talking about Christ. Because see, the nation of Israel, ISRAELITE, is the stumbling block to the nation of Israel. But he's not a stumbling block to the Gentile nations. Because see, the Gentile nations, whether they believe or not, the commandments don't deal with them. God only dealing with the nation of Israel and those commandments. That's why we so-called African Americans is in slavery to this day. Okay, y'all need to understand that. Let's go to let's go into the book of John. I got to get out of here. Let's go to the John. Listen to what Christ said. John chapter 10, verse 24. Then came the Jews round about him and said unto him, How long thou wilt make us doubt? How long dost thou make us doubt if thou be the Christ? Tell us plainly. YHWH answered them, I told you, and you believe not. Now let's go down to verse 26. You believe not because you are not of my sheep, as I said unto you. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. Now let's go down to verse 29. My Father which gave them me. What? My Father which gave them me is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my hands. Why? Because no philosophical or religious ideology view that's going to take us away from the commandments. Because we're rooted in the commandments. Because why? The elect believe. The elect obtained it. Okay. Let's go back to the book of Romans. Let's go back to the book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 5. Even so then, at this present time also there is a remnant according to the election of grace. What? To the election of grace. But verse 7. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest was blinded. Okay? According as it is written, Yahweh hath given them the spirit of slumber, and the eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day. And unto this day, y'all don't know and understand that we are the children of Israel. Y'all don't know and understand that we under these curses, and it's being implemented here in America through these policies and politicians' agenda. Okay, and that's what y'all need to know and understand. Let me get one more. Let's go to John, the 17th chapter. Listen to Christ's prayer. And I'm out of here. May Yahweh be with you all. Okay. Let's go to John chapter 17, verse 6. I have manifested thy name unto the men which thou gavest me out of this world. What? Which thou gavest me out of this world. They are thine, they were, and thou gavest them me, and they have kept thy word. Let me read that again. I have manifested thy name unto the men which thou gavest me out of the world. Thine they were, and thou gavest them me, and they have kept thy word. Okay? See, so it's all about the elect. You understand? See, so we are under these curses. And know and understand that we are the children of Israel. Okay? May Yahweh be upon you all. Shalom.